What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Two in the Cooler, episode 2. We're kicking it off. We got, you want to introduce yourself, Andy? Say hello to the fans real quick.
Sure. I mean, they already know. I'm Andrew Canada. I'm the older brother. We've got
Less handsome brother.
well, no, I don't think that's.
It'll be
what
up for them to judge this week because we'll finally be on YouTube.
That's right. If you're listening to this on Spotify, we finally were able to work out how to set up our video recording. So we'll have the full episode up on YouTube, and you'll see our little recording bot in here as well, Craig. He's just a little cartoon bear. I don't know. You'll like him.
I don't mind Craig.
No, not at all. We don't have a choice. We can't get rid of him, so he's stuck in the video. But hey.
All right, so, let's get right into it, right? It's two brothers, two viewpoints.
Two in the cooler.
Two in the cooler.
So
we'll hop right in here.
Yeah. What's going on this week?
I can never actually remember if it's viewpoints or perspectives. I think when
Why
they
would
first
it be
got said, I think I said perspective. I don't know. But so I always...
It's too wordy.
Yeah. People can't understand the word perspective.
Well, I'm not saying they can't understand it, but it just doesn't flow as well as viewpoints.
Our listeners are low IQ.
Maybe
Uncle Anthony, that's who I was thinking of when I said it. He's listening to this one.
I think he knows my perspectives. I was thinking of maybe some of your pals listening. They might struggle a little bit with some of that vocab, but
education was never our strong suit.
Well,
I got a few things.
Out all right.
Yeah, I got a few. I don't know what path or what course you planned on this going. I have a few things that I was thinking about. I have, quarantine sleep schedule. Plus, I was never good at falling asleep anyway.
Yeah.
So the past few days I've been up, like, later, like sun coming up hours, pretty much. I just can't fall. Like, yeah. And so I'm on the internet last night, just doing, whatever I do. And you know how last week I was talking about that show, All American?
Yeah, the CW show?
The football show.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the main character, Spencer James is his name in the show. He's, like, the guy who's supposed to be from Crenshaw who moves to Beverly Hills. He's played by a guy named Daniel Ezra. Daniel Ezra, you ever heard of him?
I don't think so. I don't know.
So, in the show, he plays this kid from Crenshaw, this hood football star.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out yesterday that he's British. Like, full-blown British accent is how he talks in real life. And in the show, he uses, like, a hood kind of, like... And I was almost pissed. Because I think the characters in this show are people who I think I would like in real life. So it makes me mad knowing that that's not who they are.
Matthew,
off
it's a
screen.
TV show.
I know.
They're actors. And that doesn't surprise me.
I'm not saying I thought I was going to be best friends with the guy, but British, I was just surprised he was British. It kind of threw me for a loop.
Anything but British. That's so funny. That doesn't surprise me one bit. British people, they're everywhere. They're in all the acting. Superman was British. I don't know if that guy is still Superman, Henry Cavill or whatever, but like that guy's British. Everybody's British. Andrew Garfield's British.
Everybody's British.
Everybody's British. If they had it their way, that'd probably be the slogan.
Another thing, like on the actor front, so I don't Tiger King, they came out with a new episode.
Yeah, I did not watch that new episode yet. Well, I watched like the first few minutes when they're talking.
Did you finish the show?
Guy. I finished the show just yesterday. I finished it up.
Okay, and what was your?
And I'll tell you what. Honestly, it was a little. I don't know. It was kind of off-putting or upsetting. Like those people, like everybody on that show is just—they're all such
horrible
bad people. They're so terrible, and I could have gone my whole life without, like, knowing that people so awful exist. But the documentary series. It's like any other series. It's all about the characters, right? And that show had some crazy characters, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's so popular.
the thing I was gonna say about it, since I feel like we pretty much covered a lot of the basis on it last episode.
Yeah.
Um, the new episode, Joel McHale being like the host
Mm-hmm.
over like that was I didn't like that. That was weird. He made like and he like it seemed like he wanted to make jokes to make people that were watching it laugh,
Yeah.
but he didn't know how far he was able to go with like the cast. Like, do you want to watch it? Like, is that something you're looking forward to, or can I?
It's not something that I'm looking forward to per se, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. I think that I hear what you're saying. Like the you know the subjects of that documentary are not like they're not like regular people, right? And they I don't think they really have like a sense of humor. So even just in the little bit that I saw of that, but that's such a tough gig for anybody to have to host and like interview
Well,
those
I'm not.
people
Yeah,
one
I'm
on
not
one.
saying that
Yeah.
it's hit. Like, I don't think that he did a bad job. I just think that it was weird that that's the way they did it. Like, it was such a serious show. People were well, kind of, but people were invested in it because they wanted to know like the craziness about these people. And I think that if they would have like I don't know. I mean, I guess you had to have somebody there to like mediate like the conversation because you couldn't
Mm-hmm.
put those people just on screen and tell them to talk. I guess, but like the woman that get the or the guy, sorry, she identifies as a man. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Well, this is the thing you'll learn in the show. The person that gets their arm cut off,
Oh, okay.
bitten off by a tiger. So they talk about in the new episode one how he identifies as a man, and like was he upset that the show kept calling him a she?
Right.
But then Joel McHale asks her about her arm getting ripped off, him about his arm getting ripped off, whatever, and he answers, and Joel McHale's instant like reaction was like, did you hold a grudge against that cat when you got back? And he was like, no, wasn't the cat's fault. And then he goes, well, did you ever catch him like licking his chops, looking at like your right arm since it's still there?
Like it's a crocodile from
Yeah,
Peter Pan. It's back. It's chasing
like
Captain Hook for another
this
taste.
cat just has a taste now for this guy's arm.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I thought it was just a little like, and it was only. I mean, it was like 39 minutes. I think. I don't think that they got anything out of the new part. I think that it was just Netflix's way of kind of keep. You know what I mean? People are so invested in it. Why not throw another episode up? But I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess I
Absolutely.
kind of had a bone to pick with the whole series to begin with. So
Really. What?
I just didn't think it was like I thought the social media aspect of how it was so everybody was so into it was way more exciting than the show itself. I kind of wanted to know
Interesting.
more about and like I thought the next episode was going to be like about like how they want to take like Jeff Lowe back to court or
Yeah.
something like that. You know what I mean?
Right. Not
The
just
one
sort
thing
of
that
like it was like a where are they now kind of wrap up
the
deal.
one thing that did make me curious was and you never know you don't know if this is true because like that Jeff Lowe guy seems so manipulative. But he says you know the fat guy that rode the jet ski?
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. What's his name? Joe. John.
I I don't know.
Jerry.
He's fat.
Yes.
Um
That's very true.
and you know how like kind of the plot behind how they set up Joe Exotic with the whole murder for hire thing was because he was like had a federal indictment for like owning like a monkey or something like that.
The lemur.
The lemur, yeah, owning
Yeah.
like an illegal lemur. Um Jeff Lowe was like you think like all the dirt the feds had on him was a lemur? Like I know the real story. That's why I like helped out the situation or something like that.
Really.
So I wonder what he did. But he seemed like a shady guy too. He owned
Oh
strip
yeah.
clubs and yeah,
That's the thing.
I don't know.
I don't think there's anybody really to root for in that story. They're all terrible.
No, yeah, yeah.
And that
But it is kind of like a few people said like it's ironic, and I don't know if ironic was the right word, but they said it's ironic that like for so long everything Joe did was because he wanted to get all this fame,
mm-hmm.
but now that he has all the fame, like he's locked up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
it's pretty wild.
um yeah. What have you been up to since I saw you last? You were home. People might not know that. You stopped by for a quick second.
Yeah, that's right. We did a brief episode of Film Juice, which was a lot of fun. I don't know when that's gonna come out exactly, but that was great. Because we had you on to talk about National Treasure, because you're the
Yeah.
self-proclaimed
Obvious.
expert on that
It's
movie.
obvious, yeah.
But man, it really got me in the mood to watch Book of Secrets. 'Cause I
I
haven't seen
watched
that
Book of
movie in a long
Secrets two
time.
nights ago.
Yeah, I gotta check. I gotta check that one out because
Yeah.
it's been a while. That kind of got me in the mood. So I mean, honestly, just like God, I gotta go back to work. I gotta go tomorrow. I gotta get
Oh man.
TV and all that stuff. I don't know because I've been trying to stay away from the news for like the past week since I've been off because I go into work and I watch
And all you see is the news, probably.
I watch like 2 to 5 hours of news a day probably at least. And it's just, oh my God, it's so much. And it's, I mean,
Well,
a lot of
yeah.
different people saying the same stuff, and then they're all,
Yeah.
really intense. So it,
And you're only watching it from one perspective too, so it probably gets frustrating, like depending on.
not exactly, because we've got the CBS News, the network news, and then we've got the news from our station in Rochester, and we've got the news from the station in Iowa that
Yeah, that you guys like do it for.
whatever, they outsource their master control operations to us, which is wild. They got a lot of like tornado stuff going on right now, I guess.
That's kind of. I mean, I don't want to say cool, I guess, because they could be dangerous, but that's
Yeah.
cool. Tornadoes, like I've always wanted to know what it's like to be in a tornado. Like,
I
did
don't know.
Dad ever tell you he was in a tornado once?
What?
Yeah, like, and I brought this up to him because one of my good friends, Stan, you know Stan, he was my roommate. He's from St. Louis, so he moved to Nashville, and he's from St. Louis, lived in Buffalo for 4 years for college, 5 years actually, moved to Nashville, and since his girlfriend has like moved down to Nashville with him, and he lives with his dog, and so Nashville had all those tornado things,
Okay.
and he said that like while that was going on, he had no clue, like he didn't know like what like protocol or like what happens when there's like a tornado coming, and he said like he kind of just was like asleep, and in the middle of the night like all of it like happened, and he didn't really even know like what was going on, and he said it was weird because
So
he
did
would
it
never
wake him
like
up?
I don't really know the whole
Okay.
like middle of the night story, but like it sounds like he was just super unprepared had he needed to be prepared.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
he
the
just like
thing that like working with that station that you realize is that these storms are so unpredictable. It's wild because we'll be in like some type of programming, and then they'll get on the horn and say, okay, we're doing a weather cut in because there's tornado stuff. We need
yeah.
So we'll give them control, flip that over, and then they'll talk about it. They're getting info from like the National Weather Service, and then looks like the tornado warning is nothing's gonna happen.
Done.
So send
Yeah.
you back to local programming. We're in that 2.5 minutes later. They're like, you gotta put us back on, and then everything there's a tornado on the ground, and it's currently destroying farms and stuff.
Like I wanna see a tornado like in real life. Like I don't want to chase it. I want to be at distance. But like, cause if you're not like that close to a tornado, like it's just windy. You know what I mean?
You gotta repeat that.
Like if you're not that close to a tornado, it's just windy.
Yeah.
Like
It's just
like
windy.
a mile or
I don't
so
know.
away. Like
a mile.
no, I'm
I think
serious.
you're underestimating it a little bit.
No, have you ever seen like massive tornadoes and people are standing outside like a mile
Okay.
away, and it's just like it rips down what it's in its path,
Right.
but like you're not getting sucked in from that far away. You know what I mean? You're not
Right.
up
It's a
with
tornado.
the cows.
It's not a black
Yeah, you're
hole.
not up with the cows like when you're. So, I
Man,
think it would be. I mean, it'd be. You're probably like adrenaline. You're probably like, holy
that's
shit,
true. I don't
that's a
know.
fucking
If
tornado.
I could see it from a distance and then know that I'd be able to like immediately get in a car and outrun the tornado and have like a set plan, a place to go. Like this is we're gonna go see the tornado, and then this is we're gonna drive back afterwards. Then maybe I'd do that because
Yeah, I think if
they're
you were,
cool
I think
looking
if you had the,
storms.
like, if you had to be put in, all right, here's a question. If you had to be put in a, like, severe, like, weather condition, like a
Yeah,
hurricane or like a
yeah.
tsunami, like, like a tornado, earthquake, like, what are you picking? I think I'm
Earthquake.
picking tornado.
You're picking tornado. I think I'd
I
pick
think I'm picking
earthquake.
tornado.
I'd pick
I feel
earthquake
like
because if you
earthquakes are
just
way
go
more deadly than, you ever been to San Francisco or whatever?
wherever they
The
put the
earthquakes are
earthquakes,
killing.
I would I would do an earthquake
Now that
because
people are fracking,
well yeah.
you'll be dead. You'll be dead in a heartbeat with these earthquakes.
No, I would
You hit
do
one fault line, fracked, and you're done.
I would do the earthquake because it's not gonna be like San Andreas. It's not gonna be that movie with the rock where the ground just opens up. It's not going. It's
How do you know? Have you
because
ever
that
experienced
is
an earthquake?
insane. It's like it's
Or
that's
like this
akin to
is
that
the
movie
end when they're
2012.
falling,
Yes, when
when
they're
they're
all falling
falling
into
in
the
the
pit.
hole.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not.
see,
I'm not gonna kick Aziz Ansari down any
but I
pit.
feel like in an earthquake, like an earthquake. Here's my theory.
Okay.
Like, say you have like a town, and an
Yeah.
earthquake hits a town. Like that whole town is shook by the earthquake. Like your house might collapse
Right.
on you. Like a
Well,
tornado.
that's
Like I said, I feel like you got to get smoked by the
you
tornado.
have to be right in its path. Not necessarily. They could cause a lot of damage, power
No,
lines and things like that. And earthquakes do the same. But here's why I'm picking one over the other. If you're in an earthquake, you just have to go and stand outside.
in an open
You
field.
just have yes,
Yeah, I
and
think
then
that too.
that's all you have to do. You know, even if you're like stuck in the house,
But
you
what
know,
if
you
you're
can
where the
get
ground splits? Then aren't you, like, I
the
feel like the
ground
ground
is
could
not
split.
gonna split like
ground-
crazy. You're like that. You're gonna be fine.
I have a question.
There's a good chance that your house is gonna collapse if it's the earthquake's really bad. But you're probably like there's the chance
Are you
that
standing
you are
in
gonna
the
be
street like
standing.
this?
Yes, you've got it's like you're surfing. You have your hands.
What if
You have to be careful.
you're
Or you know
laying?
what? You could
It's like getting
probably sit.
popcorn
You
on a
could- It's getting
trampoline. Yeah,
yes, the
it's getting
ground is
popcorn.
you're
You're
playing
tucked
popcorn
in,
with the ground.
and you know how severe the earthquake is, depending on if you get popped or not. Like,
Yeah.
if you can tuck, if you can stay tucked, the earthquake wasn't that severe.
And that's why I would pick that over a tornado because in a tornado, you have nowhere to go. I mean, you can go to the basement if you have a basement, and you know that's something. But the tornado's still gonna. I mean, if you are anywhere else, it's gonna It's gonna totally sweep you away. But the
I'm
earthquake,
getting,
you can
I'm
go
getting a call
outside.
from no caller ID right now. Should we take it?
You gonna take the call? Yeah, I think you have to. Oh boy, I don't know.
No, I feel like it's probably my doctor's office, right? I have a virtual doctor's appointment with my knee doctor
Oh, okay.
at I don't know what time. So that's why I don't know. I think they texted it to me. Tsunami is probably the one I'd be most afraid of. A
Yeah.
tsunami sounds scary, and
Well,
I
you're
can
not a strong
swim.
swimmer.
What? I'm a very strong
I'm
swimmer.
just fucking with you. You're a very
That's a
strong
ridiculous
swimmer.
statement.
I don't know.
Like
if
I
I'd say
can
that.
I can swim. Like I could tread water for like a long time.
That's all right. I guess that's something, but yeah.
And
the
like if you're in a
tsunami,
tsunami, that's like an
that's
important.
another thing. No escape from the tsunami.
No.
There's nowhere you can go.
You could, yeah, because I feel like it's not even like in a hurricane when like places get flooded and you're like standing on your roof like waiting for the helicopter
Yeah.
kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's taking down, excuse me, your house. Like I feel like water. You know what I mean? I feel like water comes in and just smokes everything.
Yeah.
That's why
I mean, absolutely.
it's not a bad idea to own a boat. There's a lot of benefits other than leisure for owning a boat.
I guess so, but even in a tsunami, I don't think a boat's gonna help you that much because
Well, you have to keep it high.
This is the tree where I keep my boats.
just in case the tsunami.
It's like, isn't that in Step Brothers at the end that
Yeah, yes. Oh
they have
my
that
God.
boat as the
See, that's what
treehouse?
I'm talking
They climb
about.
up
Yeah,
there in the tsunami. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't think. I
It's
don't think
okay that mine's
anything's
not
gonna
movie
help you.
quality.
I really don't think. I think tsunami.
Yeah, tsunami's no good. You don't want a tsunami.
When I lived down in Florida, I was down there like during the hurricane season, and I lived in Central Florida, so we never got anything like crazy. And even that whole season that I was down there, nothing really like wild happened. But I remember when they were reporting on the news that one was going to be coming to the area, and everybody is flipping out on TV. Like, you got to get ready. Here it comes. And I was talking to my buddy who had lived down there for like a lot longer, and I was like, should we be worried about this hurricane? And he was like, fuck no. Hurricane, like, we don't actually get affected by hurricanes here. They're just like in the part of Florida that I was in.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say.
yeah, like they're crazy. If anything like really really bad is coming, we'll actually know about it. Like, those guys don't know what they're talking about. And so on the day that the hurricane was like arriving, I was out on my porch because I wanted to see it, and I remember it hit like it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, the sky was dark, and I was riding my bike, and then all of a sudden it
You went
just
on a bike ride during a hurricane?
well, yes, that's the only way. I don't remember where the hell I was coming from, but that was like the only way I could get around at that point for some reason. So I'm riding my bike, and I'm almost back to my apartment, and all of a sudden it just starts pouring. It just starts coming down. It's soaked. And so I get in, I stand on my porch, and there's all this lightning and stuff. And that was the first time that I've ever like seen a storm and been like, I should be inside right now. Like, I shouldn't. I should not be out in nature at this moment. And that was a weird experience.
Um, Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why you thought that was a good idea.
Well, I
Um,
don't know. Something was going on. It kind of came out of nowhere.
um, my doc. Okay, Okay, it was my doctor, by the way. I like looked at the transcript of the voicemail,
Okay.
and he actually had asked me if I could maybe do my appointment a little bit earlier than he thought,
Okay.
because he has no other. But my appointment was until 3:40 anyway. So sorry, that's why I was. I was completely focused on you. I just
Uh,
also had something else going on.
right, right. You're a
Um,
multitasker.
yes. Um, so another thing, well, have you seen like have I told you about Dave Portnoy's unboxing videos, right?
Oh yeah, we talked about that when I was home.
Um, so that whole like just that in
Yeah,
general,
and
Instagram
this is
Live.
the president. This is the president of Barstool.
Yeah, El Prez, David Page views.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to talk about this, but people are just sending stuff to his house and he's unboxing it live, like on
Yeah.
Instagram Live, like just for a
Is
back.
he doing it on his Instagram?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but Instagram Live, I just want to talk about Instagram Live in general. Like, I wanted to say that because there's like this new thing where rappers have been going Instagram Live and doing like these crazy Instagram Lives with like 70, 80,000 people where they'll like bring on like random fans and like just like make them like and there's like
Oh,
this
is it
ongoing
okay?
joke like when the government shuts down Instagram Live like next year, like this is why, and then they'll tweet out clips of like these rappers Instagram Lives just like people doing foul things on the internet for anybody, 70,000 people watching like live, and it makes me laugh that like this is how bored people are that they're just willing to go on.
Well, well, that's the thing. Like, when you go on Instagram Live, can't you like click the button and like request to
Yeah,
join the
that's like
video or
what it is.
whatever?
Like these people, like
That's so
they'll be on
crazy.
there and people will request to join, and then they'll bring on random people, and I don't know, it's
Wow,
weird.
that's wild.
But
Man.
the thing,
Yeah.
my problem with Instagram Live is that you can only have two people. Like, I want to be able to have like me and my friends were doing like a Zoom chat, Zoom. I'm not gonna call it a Zoom happy hour because that's
That's for
stupid.
middle-aged people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we were on there. It was late, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go Instagram Live, like, cause it's funny,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
watch. Like, I'll tune into people's from time to time just to see like what they're up to, and so I did it, and I would say I probably had 15 people in it, and it was driving me crazy because I could see them. I wanted to bring my friends in because we were on Zoom, so we were all involved in what was going
Right.
on, but I just had to face the camera at my laptop instead. So that's my bone to pick with Instagram. Didn't I have a good idea for like a live video segment on the podcast last week? I think I did. I don't remember what
But
it was.
I don't remember. I don't know. You gotta
I made that up. I have a really bad memory. What? Repeat that, sorry.
nothing. You've got a lot of ideas. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a really bad memory. I was
Oh.
like, and my brain has been like just going crazy. Like I haven't been able to like, you know, like I will like, and it's right before I go to bed too, because I'll get off. Like my nightly routine is like get off Xbox. Like I'll go to bed, like watch a few episodes of something, and like, but I want to be able to fall asleep. But lately,
Right.
like I'll get off Xbox, and like
But
I
you don't
have
get off
like just
Xbox until like 2 in the morning,
um.
right?
Could we possibly pause this so I can answer this? Would that be okay?
Um. Yeah. Yeah.
Like we'll just sorry, because he wants to move the appointment.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'll just edit it out.
Quick interruption there. Just a quick phone call from my doctor. But
Mm-hmm. Everything okay? Is
yeah,
it benign?
yeah. It's not benign. Or no,
It's not
it is
benign.
benign.
Oh my
But
god.
I wasn't. I was expecting you to not say the word benign because I didn't know we were getting it. Okay. Yeah. No, nothing is spreading. So thankfully, I think I'll be okay. Um, but speaking of doctors, I even said this the other day. I don't think that I was taken to the doctor enough as a kid.
What the
Um,
hell is that supposed to mean?
from a perspective of like, not that I want to be diagnosed with any type of like ADD or something,
Yeah.
but I think if one of us was gonna be diagnosed with something, it would be me. Um,
Yeah. Between the two of us, absolutely.
yeah, like our parents were like Andrew and both our parents. This is for the listeners, not for you, because you are part of the problem. They
What?
always tell me like if you're like they always say because like I said earlier, I can't sleep well at night. They're like, why don't you read before you go to bed? Specifically, our mom, but also then Andrew's like, yeah, I love to read because I'm such
Yeah.
a reader
Well,
and I
I was
read
just
all the
kind of making
time.
fun of you because I'm not even sure
And
you know
then
how to read.
and then my dad would be like, well, you can learn a lot from reading. So they all have three different like perspectives on why I should read, and they don't understand that if I sit down and look at a book, I will literally go crazy within 30 seconds. I could sit there and probably read for 15 minutes, like uninterrupted. I will sit there
Uh-huh.
and like my eyes will be seeing the words, I will be flipping the pages, and then
Okay.
after that 15 minutes, you could say, what just happened? And I would say, I have no clue. I was thinking about something completely different. Like I'm reading the words at the time,
Yeah.
but I can't focus on one thing.
I understand that.
Even like yeah, I don't know.
But your reading has I don't know, has made me very angry in the past. Just because I
I'm a
remember
good reader.
I've never seen you. You might be. I
Like
don't know
I'm
if
like a
that's
good
true. I've
like
never
like
seen
public
you read.
speaker. Like if you gave me a sheet right now, like if you gave
Oh
me
sure,
an ad read,
that's
I
a
could.
whole different
In high
skill
school,
set.
I was team reader. We would have to
Yeah,
read these
right.
like
That's a whole
for
different. That's a whole different thing when you are like dictating to people and stuff, and especially, I mean, I think that helps you stay engaged as well for sure. But when I'm just saying, like, I remember when you were in like in like late elementary school, we would like get assigned books to read and stuff, and mom would always read the books to you, and that drove me crazy because I always read the books, and
because
then
the
I would
options
walk
were
in.
either I don't get done. Like that was it wasn't like a please read this to me so I don't have to read it. It was either it gets read to me or I don't know I don't know what's going on. There was only
Right,
two
but that
options.
no, there's a third option, and that is read the book. You read it.
I could have sat there and read it, and then when okay, so the point of reading a book is to what? You like at that point, you probably have to do like a book report on it.
Yeah.
The book report's not getting done if I have to sit there and read that book. Because if you wanted me to understand what was going on in like the simplest of books,
Yeah.
like I'm talking the American classics, you know those ones? You know what I'm talking about?
Name an
Like
American
the
classic.
stories. No, like those white books that were like stories that were like dumbed down for kids that
Oh,
we
the
have. We have a
illustrated
bunch of them.
classics.
Illustrated
Yes, okay.
classics. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I like
Like
those.
I remember the Red Dawn one. Like specifically, I remember trying to read that.
Wait, Red Dawn, like the Russia thing?
Something like that. Maybe it wasn't Red Dawn. Isn't there a war one?
Red Badge of Courage.
The Red Badge of Courage. Yeah.
We had to read that for what, 10th grade English? That was like
No,
summer reading?
yeah, but not the illustrated classics.
No, obviously we had to read the
Yeah,
real
Mr.
book.
Carlson's class,
Yeah.
we had to read it.
I thought you were going to say that you read the illustrated classics version in place
For
of
Mr.
reading the
Carlson's
actual
class.
one. Yeah. I mean,
No.
you could have, I guess.
Mr. Carlson, I'm sorry if this is probably not the first time you're finding this out because you read my papers, but I didn't read any of those books. Like
Yeah.
Gates of Fire, right? That was the one.
Gates of Fire,
Like
that was the
that
one
book
that's
was
like,
genuinely interesting to me.
yeah,
Like when he
yeah.
would read it aloud in class, I would be like, I'm excited to find out what happens next.
That
And then he'd be like, here's the next chapter.
that was the
and
book that was like the inspiration for the movie 300.
300.
Yeah.
So I just watched the movie, and a great movie.
I've never seen that movie.
Wow, you should watch that movie.
But
it's really
from
cool.
what I read of the book, because I didn't read that whole book either, I read about half of it. It seems to be like pretty different.
I mean, it's definitely not the same. Gates of Fire is like 500-page like chapter book, and
Yeah, that was a
but
good book.
300 is pretty long. Like, right?
Yeah,
And
I have no idea.
my other thing, I'm a big Gerard Butler guy. He fires me up. He plays what's his name?
No, I know who
Leonidas?
Gerard Butler is.
No, I'm saying he plays Leonidas in
Yeah,
the movie 300.
yeah.
Why, you don't like Gerard Butler? What?
Well, I'm just trying to think. I mean, I guess I kind of like Gerard Butler. I don't know. I feel like. I guess I shouldn't say this because I can't remember. I feel like I saw him in some movie that he was really bad in. But I don't know. I mean, I like that Olympus Has Fallen.
Did
I
you
like that
watch
movie a lot.
did you watch the new one? Angel Has
Angel
Fallen?
Has Fallen? Yeah, we did that on Film Juice. a while
I
back,
thought it was
whenever
good. Oh yeah, I
came out.
think you said that. And what about like fuck, what's that movie I'm thinking of? Law Abiding Citizen.
I've never heard of that movie.
You've never heard of Law Abiding Citizen?
No. He's the star of it, Gerard Butler.
Now I gotta make sure. You've never heard of Law Abiding Citizen? Come on, you gotta be playing with me here. Yeah, it came out in 2009. Him and Jamie Foxx. You've never heard of that movie? That's like one of my favorite movies, like maybe of all time.
I've never
That movie is
I've never heard of it.
so
I've never heard you talk
good.
about it.
Are you kidding? You have to. What are you doing tonight? Seriously, do you have anything else better to do than watch that movie? Because you have to watch
Maybe.
that movie tonight. That is a great movie. I am genuinely upset at you.
All right, I don't know. I guess I'll check it out then. If it's causing me that much angst, maybe I'll give it a watch.
If you don't watch it tonight,
I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to watch it tonight, but I'll probably be able to watch it at some point.
you should definitely tonight. I think. Oh wait, I'll tell you how long it is. I'm so man. An hour and 58 minutes, so not that long.
No, I guess
Before you
that's
go to
not that
bed,
long.
just
Check it out. Yeah, but you know what I do before I go to bed usually is read because it calms me down. So I can't
if I
watch,
read
like,
before
a
I go to
bunch of
bed, I'd have to
stuff.
take another hour. After trying to read for 15 minutes, I'd have to take another hour to try to get rid of my headache from staring at the pages or the words on the page
Yeah.
before I could actually fall asleep. And that's I'm I'm just not cut out to read.
I guess. I mean, I don't
Like the
know.
last
What about
book.
audiobooks? You could try audiobooks if you're interested, like in books at
Yeah, I
all.
could probably do it because I like to listen to podcasts. But even podcasts,
Yeah.
like I rarely sit down and listen to a entire podcast. Like if a podcast that I
Right.
listen to, like I like listening to longer podcasts because it takes up more time, right? So if
Yeah.
I am listening to a 2 hour podcast, unless I'm driving for 2 hours, excuse me, like it'll take me 2 days or so to listen to that podcast. I
Hmm.
listen to it for a half hour, like in the morning when I'm like showering, getting ready, and then if I'm driving somewhere for 15 minutes, I'll listen to 15 minutes of it. Like I'll try to sometimes like sit down, like if I'm doing something like not homework. I can't listen to anything when I'm doing homework. That's not like I have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but like if I'm playing Xbox and I'll be like, oh, like none, like I'm not talking to anybody on Xbox. I'll throw on this podcast and listen to it. No, I can't do that either. I listen to it like I get, there's too much going on. Um,
I don't know. I love the long podcasts.
I have a yeah, but you sit down and listen to it all in one sitting usually.
Usually I'm doing something else when I'm listening to it for like a long time. Like
I can't. I feel like
playing
then I stop
like I like to
focusing.
like put it on when I'm playing video games, but I don't play like Fortnite and stuff where it's like a competition and you gotta like. But
Well,
like
yeah, I play.
2K, I put it on when I play 2K and stuff. I
See,
like
like
that a lot.
the only time I would put it on, like would try to put it on, is when I play NHL. But I can't do like, especially now. You know how you could do like EASHL? Do you know what that is? It's like
No.
you can start like an online team, and it's like you and your friends are on a team and you
Oh,
play
cool.
against other teams. It's fun. So we just started one because like EA Sports is doing a promotion where all their actually. Do you have the new NBA? Do you have 2K20? Oh, it's not an EA Sports game. Never mind.
No.
But you have it anyway
Yeah.
because all the EA Sports games right now are $19. They're doing like a thing for the coronavirus, like
Really? Oh,
you
that's
know what I
cool.
mean,
Well, 2K
keeping
is
people
pretty cheap right
entertained.
now too. I just bought it like in February because they were
It
doing
was
like
on
an
sale
all-star game. Yeah, I got like the
promotion.
one, the
You got the decked out pack.
yeah, because I love that um I love getting the VC to just pay for upgrades.
Yeah,
And I get
which
that
is
that's I feel
which
like
is
some people have a
cheating.
problem with that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cheating, but I don't give a shit. Like I
yeah.
don't want to like
You don't
I
want to
don't know.
suck. Yeah, it
And
sucks
also like
sucking.
I'm not sitting there playing it like all the time for like long periods of time, which is what it takes to build up your character and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So for the I mean it's fair.
And plus even most
I
of the
think
time
that
when I'm not doing my career, I'll go and do like the my park stuff with my buddies
yeah,
and a lot of
and
the
you got to
people
be
in
good
that.
too.
Yeah, I don't want to suck at that.
I think that stuff's really cool. Like that whole like I do be a pro. It's called like in NHL.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like that. Like you just play games. That's all you do. Like you don't even like that my park stuff. How you can walk around and like interact with like shops and like sponsor. That is so cool. I wish that EA would do like put that kind of technology into like a game like NHL. That is so cool. I
Yeah.
feel like the reason they don't though is because it's probably not worth as much money to them. Like there's not as many people that play NHL probably as play 2K just based off the fact that basketball is so much more of a popular sport and there's so many more people who are probably willing to spend money like on like they can put the money into the game because they're going to get the money back out of the game.
Right.
Whereas NHL like EA Sports doesn't probably get the same return from a game like NHL just because there's so many less, you know. And it's a hard concept to grasp living around here because around here everybody's accustomed to hockey even if they don't love hockey, like they
Yeah.
know, where but like that's just not how it is everywhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's another thing that was weird when I lived in Florida because obviously hockey's not big down there really at all.
Yeah, maybe not in Orlando. I mean like
Yeah.
yeah, I mean
Well, sure,
like
you
in the
got
Tampa area there's a
yeah,
lot of
right. You've got the Lightning or whatever.
yeah, Tampa
But
Bay Lightning.
I remember when I moved back home from living in Florida, it was the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs were going on at the same time, and the news was on at home, And they were like, and next we're going to be talking about the playoffs. And I was like, oh, I want to see what they've got to say about, you know, the NBA playoffs or whatever. We get back and it was like, the NHL is blah blah blah, and I was like, whoa, that's yeah,
Yeah.
like that's one of those things
Well,
that
and we
does
don't have
not
an
happen
NBA
everywhere.
team here.
I know. I wish the
Um,
old Buffalo Braves. Those were the days.
yeah,
Bob McAdoo.
those you should have bought one of those jerseys. Those jerseys were cool. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know which
Like
ones.
whoever the Buffalo Braves moved to,
Oh, the San Diego Clippers. Well, they were. Well, now they're the L.A. Clippers, of course.
they did Buffalo Braves jerseys.
But they said like L.A. Clippers on them. I think I remember in
No,
one of
they
the.
said Braves on them.
Oh, really?
I'm looking them up right now.
Well, that's
Yeah,
cool. I remember
they
in one
didn't
of the
even
two
say.
Ks you could play with that uniform. I'd do that all the time.
Yeah,
They're the
it's
orange and
really
black
cool.
ones, right?
Yeah, you should
Mm.
look it up if you. It's I just looked them
Yeah,
up
those ones are
there,
pretty cool.
and you could get a Kawhi one.
That's awesome. You can get a
Yeah.
Kawhi like Braves jersey. Holy crap!
Yeah, well, like, I mean, look it up. I mean, it looks like so they still have like their bumble pack. They're the new NBA jerseys, but they're identical to the Buffalo Braves jersey. They just
Right?
say Braves, and they've got it's the white jersey, but it's got the black and orange, like the
Yeah.
stripes, the logo. They're really cool.
Oh man,
They're
that's
probably
awesome.
expensive, but they're really
Oh, I'm
cool.
sure, but those are really cool.
All right, I've got to go briefly here. I got about 4 minutes,
Okay,
so
well we can.
I've got to go meet up with my doctor.
Sure,
Um,
we
I
can
had
wrap it up.
one. Oh, like one last point I wanted to bring up was like online school.
Oh yeah.
I've been thinking about this a lot, and I've been seeing people say um like oh like for example, I saw somebody tweet the other day like, "Oh, my teacher's so understanding during during this like pandemic or whatever,"
Mm-hmm.
and like put up a picture out with the tweet of like an assignment that was like a 20-page paper, which like the 20-page paper is is a big paper,
Yeah.
and I would be very pissed if a teacher assigned me a 20-page paper, but I think it's a little bit like I don't know, naive is the word, but like you don't have to go to class, you don't have
Yeah.
to go to work, you don't have to do anything. Like I bet you if like a 20-page paper, like the amount of time that it takes you to do a 20-page paper is less now if you consider the fact that like the time working on it spent, you also factor in like your class time. So say you have class for 4 hours a week, and then it would have taken you 6 hours outside of class to write the paper, but now it takes only 6 hours to write the paper at home. That's really like the paper only taking 2 hours to write. You know what I mean? That's if you don't have to watch like online lectures. If you're watching online lectures and you're still like going to class without going to class, I guess it's a little different. But like I don't have to go to class, right? Teachers just assign me work and I do it as I go.
Right.
So
That's cool.
how could I really complain that I don't know. I
No, I
guess
get
I'm
it. I
wrong.
mean, if anything, I feel like it would like let you take your mind off things for a little while.
Yeah, no, I definitely. I'm not. If any of my professors were to listen to this, I'm not saying I want a 20-page
No, I
paper.
mean, I don't think it would be fun,
No,
but it's
but like
if you
and
if
from
you
their
have to do a
perspective,
20-page paper for a class, this
you might as
situation
well
is
do it during a
probably
quarantine.
yeah your
And think
best
about
case
it like
scenario.
this also. If you're a professor, like especially if you're like a hard-nosed professor, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you're all about like making sure your students really like get the most out of your class. Like you think it's important for them to really be learning. And like now what? You don't get to like you'll never see him again, you know what I mean? Probably. Like
Yeah, no,
um,
yeah, I know
like
what you
you
mean.
and if you're less okay, and you're like they're getting off the hook. Like they don't have to do
Right.
anything. Like I've got to, make sure like cuz like the only way to write a 20-page paper is to know what you're talking about. You
Yeah.
can't write 20 pages on something that you don't know what's
No,
going
that's
on.
too much to full with just like bullshit.
I had to write an 18-page paper once. Two of them actually. Is
For
the
what?
longest paper I ever had to write. It's for my sports law class.
Oh, man. College was
Um,
so goddamn easy for me. It makes me feel
yeah. Oh
guilty.
my God.
It
No,
was
I think
nothing.
that all the time too. Like, I can't believe I'm graduating with this degree in
Yeah.
sports management. I don't do it. But this class, I took it my freshman year. I think it might have been my sophomore year. I don't really remember. The professor's name was Joe Hanna. He was a great guy. He's a lawyer. Like, he was me and him really got along. But like, he was like a lawyer, like went to Syracuse law, like got like, you know how you can get like like honorary degrees or something like that. Like, I'm pretty sure like he went like to Harvard for a little bit and got like an honorary Harvard degree. And like he like represents like all these cool things like the Bills and like Gatorade and stuff like that.
Whoa.
Like that, like, yeah, like really successful guy. Um and he taught this class didn't take any pay, like, you know what I mean, just taught it because like he thought it was the right thing to do. And we were all like freshmen and sophomores, like thinking this class was like, hysterical, and like he wanted it to be taken a lot more seriously. So they ended up, after we took it, they ended up moving it to a 400 level class so that kids couldn't take it until they were like seniors. But then it obviously got harder, so I actually
Yeah.
got lucky. um
Holy cow.
but yeah, 18-page paper, and it was about like a lawsuit, and like if we thought like the person was like should have been found negligence, because I guess that's what sports laws, because a lot of it is like inherent risk. Like, if you get hurt in a sports event, like in a contact sport, how do
Mm.
you, like, it's not, you know what I mean, that like how do you like you can't sue somebody unless like, they're like acting like aggravated negligence, like they go over the
Yeah,
top, and then
yeah.
how you prove that kind of.
They like
So not only
obviously
was it
did something
interesting, because
wrong.
it's kind of interesting because you can look at like all the different perspectives of it, and also like it's on sports, and there's a lot to talk about. It's like 18 pages, like whatever. But the worst part about it was having to cite it. Like, we had to like,
Citing things sucks. I mean, it's good to,
and when,
credit
yeah.
stuff that you reference, but the
But like, you
just
should be able to
reference.
cite in papers like you cite on Twitter. Like, if you get like, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
like via at two in the cooler. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
completely yes. I
what do
think
you
all
need
you
to
should
be
have to do
doing?
if you just write down like if you are referencing a book, just write down like the title and the author. That's all anybody needs to like
I don't
look
need to be
that
doing
shit
an
up.
annotated bibliography. Like,
Those
if
are
anything, that's
so
more
stupid.
confusing. How would I could more easily figure out how to find this article if you just threw his like Twitter handle on like the end of your
You know what?
paper
That's
than
true.
if you gave me the whole
The
like
publisher and the
URL
dates. Yes.
of the database that you found the document off of. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I always
Like,
just use the citation squirrel or whatever citation
yeah,
machine, and
yes,
that does it like wrong, like that
but it's
doesn't
good
format
enough for
exactly
me.
correctly. Yeah, but I'm not doing any more work than that because I think that's such bullshit. That's so
Yeah,
stupid.
some of my teachers will be like, just throw like the link, like, you let me know that you got it from somewhere. You know
Right?
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not Wikipedia or
I don't know.
something.
That's I mean that's good enough.
I don't mind that,
And like
but
that's and I maybe it's just because like that used to be the only way to catch people plagiarizing, but now you can put
yeah,
it
but now
through.
you literally you just put the paper in the internet and it comes
Yeah.
up if it's plagiarized. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Like, they have all these. Yeah.
They've got all kinds of
Um,
programs that'll tell you if, certain parts of an essay or whatever you put in are taken from the
yeah.
internet or from other
Even like
sources.
some, like, I don't know if Canisius has it, but I know some big schools, like, because we have this like desire to learn. That's where we submit all of our like assignments.
Mhm.
Like, some schools have like programs within like their desire to learn type programs that the second you submit an essay, it checks it, boom,
Yeah.
like it does it automatically, sees it, like, and it'll come up whether it's plagiarized. All right, well, I've gotta get going to my doctor's appointment, my virtual doctor's appointment.
Yeah. Are you
Sorry for
doing like a
yawning.
video chat?
Yeah, yeah. So I guess I'm just gonna stay on here and click into that.
You got
Maybe take the headphones off.
do you like FaceTime
I
it?
don't
Like do
know.
you give him your
I'm not
phone
like.
number or is it like a
Yeah, yeah. He
Google?
called. There's different. He sent me a link.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. I'm gonna do. I think you could obviously do it on your phone, but I'm gonna do it on my laptop just because,
Yeah.
one, my phone is gonna die. I didn't
That's a good
charge it
idea.
last night, and two, like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't often take doctor's appointments very seriously, but this one, like, I kind of need to know what's going on. You
Absolutely.
know, and how are you gonna be able to tell me that Like what? Could you tell me if my knee is healed or not right now by looking at me? Because I don't
Yeah,
think
if you put it up, if you hold it up to the camera, I can diagnose that
if I
pretty
got
confidently.
see, I like that's what is he gonna tell me? Like, let me see the knee. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And
That's a
then
good question.
like also like I think it'll only be worse if he says, "Oh yeah, like you're cleared to like return like to go playing hockey." And
Right.
I'd be like, "Oh, that's really fucking convenient."
Yeah.
Let me let the coronavirus know that my knee's good now, so it's time to cut the shit.
Sounds about
So I
right.
don't know what's gonna. I mean, I'm assuming like all he's gonna say is like, "Yeah, you're probably good." I guess I don't know. It's been 10 weeks, so.
I guess we'll see. Damn. Well, good luck.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening this week. I'll let Andrew give some closing remarks, I suppose, if he's got anything to say to the people. But remember, live that two in the cooler lifestyle, and
Yeah.
two brothers, two viewpoints,
Two in the cooler.
two in the cooler.
There we go.
So we'll see you next week, everybody.
Yep. Follow us on Twitter and look for this episode on YouTube.
YouTube, and we're on iTunes now.
Oh
correct?
yeah, we're on iTunes.
We're on iTunes. Almost forgot that. Hopefully
Yep.
nobody tuned out too soon. We already said goodbye. So, all right, everybody.
All right. Take care. We'll see you later.